Is that mine? Those are the first words he says when he sees my pregnant belly. Not hello. Not I'm sorry. Just 3 words that prove his sister was right about everything. 6 months ago, she told me I wasn't Cross family material. That girls like me don't end up with men like him. And now here he is, engaged to someone appropriate, staring at the baby he didn't want and the woman he was never going to choose. This is a story about Zara Hayes and Donovan Yamamoto-Cross. About a night that changed everything, a sister's cruelty, and a love that refused to follow the rules. Hey besties, before we dive into this beautiful story, tell me where you're watching from and don't forget to subscribe and like so I can share more heart-stopping stories with you tomorrow. It is your beautiful way of supporting us. Thank you all. Love you guys. Now, let's begin. But 6 months earlier, neither of them saw it coming. The champagne glass slipped from her fingers in slow motion. Zara watched it fall, her brain processing what she'd just overheard faster than her body could react. The crystal hit the marble floor of the rooftop gallery and exploded into 1,000 glittering pieces. Every head in the venue turned toward her. You want me to apologize for being right? Her voice cut through the Detroit skyline like the February wind whipping around them. Your hybrid system is outdated. My engine design cuts emissions by 40%, and you know it. Donovan Yamamoto-Cross stood 3 feet away, his mixed heritage evident in the sharp angles of his face, the way his Japanese mother's features softened his father's strong black jawline. His gray suit probably cost more than Zara's monthly rent, but right now he looked like she'd just punched him in the chest. Miss Hayes, this is an investor event, not a battlefield. His voice was controlled, measured. Everything Zara wasn't. Then stop treating innovation like warfare. She stepped closer, her natural hair pulled back in a sleek bun, her burgundy dress simple but elegant. She'd bought it on sale specifically for tonight. Cross Automotive Legacy built its reputation on being first. When did you become scared? Someone gasped. You didn't talk to Donovan Cross like that. Not the heir to a 100-year-old empire. Not the man whose father Sterling Cross was literally dying 3 floors below in the penthouse suite, connected to machines that beeped his remaining time. Donovan's jaw tightened. Then, impossibly, he smiled. Show me. 2 hours later, Zara stood in Donovan's private workshop on the top floor of the Cross building. Most people didn't know the CEO still designed cars himself. The space smelled like motor oil and expensive cologne. This is where you actually work. She ran her fingers along a half-assembled engine block. This is where I breathe. He pulled up her designs on a massive screen. Walk me through it. She did. For 90 minutes. They argued thermodynamics and torque ratios and emission standards. He challenged every assumption. She defended every calculation. Somewhere around midnight, they stopped talking about cars. Why engineering? He was closer now, jacket off, sleeves rolled up. There was a small tattoo on his inner wrist. Japanese characters. Why not? She met his eyes. They were dark brown, almost black. Let me guess. You think I should have been a doctor? A lawyer? I think you should have been whatever made you this fierce. His voice dropped lower. What does it say? She blinked. What? The tattoo you keep staring at. He held out his wrist. Ikigai? Reason for being. That's beautiful. My mother insisted. Right before she told me I was wasting my life on cars instead of honoring her family's legacy in Osaka. He laughed, but it was bitter. Apparently, I'm a disappointment in 2 languages. Zara touched the tattoo without thinking. His skin was warm. You're not a disappointment. You don't know me. I know you still design. Rich men who don't care don't have calluses on their hands. She turned his palm over, her thumb tracing the roughened skin. You work with your hands. You build things. That matters. He didn't pull away. Neither did she. The workshop felt smaller suddenly, the space between them charged with something that had nothing to do with engineering. Zara. Her name in his mouth sounded different, like a question he wasn't sure he should ask. She looked up, met his eyes, and that's when she knew they were both about to make a terrible, wonderful mistake. When he kissed her, it wasn't gentle. It was hunger and frustration and 2 people who'd spent their whole lives being told they weren't enough. She kissed him back, just as hard. They made it to the leather couch in his office. Then they didn't make it anywhere else for hours. That should have been the end of it. One perfect, reckless night neither of them could take back. But 6 weeks later, Zara stared at 3 positive pregnancy tests lined up on her bathroom sink. Her hands shook as she picked up her phone. They'd exchanged numbers that night. He'd texted her twice. Once about the engine design. Once asking if she wanted coffee. She'd said yes to the design discussion, no to the coffee. She'd Googled him afterward and found 50 articles about his engagement to some socialite 5 years ago. About how Cross Automotive legacy needed to merge with other black-owned businesses to survive. About expectations and legacy and dynasty. She'd recognized the trap. Rich men didn't end up with South Side girls who put themselves through MIT on scholarships and spite. That night was amazing. It was also a mistake. But now there was a baby. His baby. Their baby. She had to tell him. Zara wore her best interview suit to Cross Automotive headquarters. Navy blue, professional, the kind of armor you needed when walking into buildings with your name on them. The lobby alone was intimidating. Photos of Sterling Cross through the decades. The first black-owned automotive manufacturer to hit $1 billion in revenue. An American success story. She approached the reception desk. I need to see Donovan Cross. It's urgent. The receptionist, a young black woman with flawless makeup, gave her a sympathetic look. Do you have an appointment? No, but if you could just tell him Zara Hayes is here. Hill. I'm afraid Mr. Cross doesn't take walk-in meetings. The receptionist's tone was kind but firm. If you'd like to submit a formal request through the website. Zara Hayes. A woman's voice cut through the lobby like a knife. The Zara Hayes who designed the Vector engine? Zara turned. The woman approaching was stunning. Light-skinned with honey-colored eyes, wearing a cream pantsuit that screamed old money. Her hair was straightened and pinned in an elegant chignon. She looked like she'd walked out of a magazine spread about black excellence and respectability politics. I'm Simone Cross-Baptiste. She extended a perfectly manicured hand. Van's sister. I oversee the family's philanthropic foundation. I've heard about your work. Oh. Zara shook her hand, thrown off. I was hoping to speak with your brother. Of course. Simone's smile was warm, inviting. Why don't we chat in my office first? I always like to know the brilliant minds working with Cross Automotive. Red flags waved in Zara's mind, but what could she say? She followed Simone into a glass-walled office that overlooked the Detroit River. Everything was white and cream and carefully curated black art. A kind Wiley print. An Alma Thomas. The kind of art that said we've made it without saying it out loud. Please sit. Simone gestured to a chair. Can I get you anything? Water? Tea? I'm fine. Zara perched on the edge of the seat. I really just need a few minutes with Donovan. Van. Simone corrected gently. We call him Van. Only the press uses Donovan. She sat behind her desk, folding her hands. I'll be direct, Miss Hayes. I know why you're here. Zara's heart stopped. You do? You want a contract. You want Cross Automotive to buy your engine design. It's brilliant, by the way. I've seen the specs. Simone's smile never wavered. But I need to be honest with you. Woman to woman. Sister to sister. I don't understand. Van doesn't see girls like you. Simone's voice was still kind, still warm. That's what made it so devastating. You're a brilliant designer. MIT graduate. You're impressive. But you're not Cross family material. Zara felt like she'd been slapped. Excuse me. You're Detroit. South Side Detroit, if my research is correct. You're brilliant. You're talented. You're exactly the kind of engineer we need on our team. Simone leaned forward. But Van needs Grosse Pointe. He needs someone who understands the weight of the Cross name. Someone who fits into the circles we navigate. Someone who looks like she belongs. The words hung in the air. Someone who looks like she belongs. Zara's skin prickled. You mean someone lighter. Zara's voice was flat. I mean someone who understands legacy. Simone's smile finally faded. Van is engaged, Miss Hayes. To Naomi Tanaka-Baptiste. Her father owns Tanaka Industries. Her mother's family founded Baptiste Luxury Motors in Haiti. This is a union that makes sense. That preserves what our father built. I didn't come here to. I know what you came here for. Simone stood. And I respect it. You saw an opportunity with my brother, and you took it. You're smart. But Van is spoken for. He has been for years. Whatever happened between you two was a mistake he's already forgotten. Zara stood too, her legs shaky. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I? Simone walked around the desk. Let me save you some embarrassment. Van's getting married in 6 months. The invitations are already printed. His future is secure. You're a talented engineer, Miss Hayes. Don't throw away your dignity chasing a man who was never yours to catch. The door opened. Donovan walked in, phone to his ear, clearly mid-conversation. He stopped when he saw Zara. His expression flickered. Surprise. Something else she couldn't read. I'll call you back. He ended the call. Zara. Mr. Cross. Her voice was ice. Professional. Everything that night hadn't been. You two know each other? Simone's voice was innocence itself. We've met. Donovan's eyes never left Zara's face. Is there something you needed? This was her moment. Tell him. Tell him about the baby. Tell him his sister is a manipulative snake. Tell him everything. But Simone was watching her with those honey eyes, waiting for her to be the stereotype. The trap. The South Side girl trying to baby trap the heir. I wanted to discuss a professional opportunity. Zara's voice didn't shake. But I can see this isn't a good time. I'll reach out through proper channels. Zara. Something in Donovan's voice made her pause. It's Miss Hayes, actually. She met his eyes. Since we're being professional. She walked out with her head high. She made it to her car before the tears came. She sat in the parking garage of Cross Automotive headquarters and cried for everything she'd been stupid enough to want. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Van. What did my sister say to you? She deleted it without responding. 2 weeks later, Zara accepted a position at Velocity Motors. They were Cross Automotive's biggest competitor. Younger, hungrier, funded by tech money instead of legacy. They offered her double what she was making and her own team. She didn't tell them she was pregnant. First trimester was still risky. She'd figure it out later. Her new office had a view of downtown. She was unpacking boxes when her phone rang. Donovan. She sent it to voicemail. He called 3 more times. Finally, she answered. What? You quit. I took a better offer. At Velocity. His voice was tight. You took a position at Velocity. Is there a problem? Is this about what Simone said to you? He sounded angry. Good. Because whatever she said you don't see girls like me. She said you're engaged. She said I'm not cross-family material. Zara kept her voice level. Was she lying? Silence. Are you engaged? Zara pressed. It's complicated. That's not an answer. Yes. His voice cracked. But it's not. She hung up. Then she blocked his number. The nausea hit during her 3rd week at Velocity. Morning sickness was a lie. It was all-day sickness. She kept crackers in her desk and learned which bathroom was least trafficked. Her team was brilliant. 3 other engineers, all women, all hungry to prove something. They worked 16-hour days on a new electric chassis. Zara threw herself into the work. If she was working, she wasn't thinking about the baby growing inside her, about the father who didn't want her. She was 4 months along before anyone noticed. Her project lead, a white woman named Sarah with kind eyes, pulled her aside. Are you pregnant? Zara's hand went to her stomach instinctively. She'd been wearing oversized blazers. Yes. Congratulations. Sarah smiled. Do you need any accommodations? We can adjust your schedule if. I'm fine. Zara cut her off. I can do my job. I know you can. I'm just saying we support you. Sarah squeezed her arm. You're not alone. But she was. She was so alone. At 5 months, her mother called from Atlanta. Baby, I saw Sarah's post on Facebook. That team photo from your project presentation. You're pregnant? Why didn't you tell me? I'm handling it, Mama. Handling it? By yourself? Who's the father? No one important. Zara Janelle Hayes. Don't you lie to me. She told her mother everything. Sterling Cross's son. One night. A sister who made it clear she'd never be good enough. Her mother listened in silence. Baby, you have to tell him about this child. I tried, Mama. His sister made it clear I wasn't wanted. That's his sister. Not him. That baby deserves to know its father. That baby deserves better than a father who's ashamed of its mother. Her mother sighed. Pride is a heavy thing to carry alone, Zara. Especially when you're carrying a child too. The engagement announcement appeared on her feed at midnight. She was 6 months pregnant, eating ice cream in bed, scrolling mindlessly. Donovan Yamamoto-Cross and Naomi Tanaka-Baptiste cordially invite you to celebrate their union. The photo showed them at some charity gala. Naomi was gorgeous, mixed Chinese and Haitian, with perfect bone structure and a dress that probably cost 5 figures. She looked like she belonged on Donovan's arm. Zara looked down at her swollen belly, her ice cream, her Ratty Wayne State t-shirt. Yeah, Simone was right. She cried herself to sleep that night. The baby kicked for the first time. Like even her daughter knew her mother was pathetic. The next morning, she had her 24-week ultrasound. The technician smiled as she moved the wand across Zara's belly. Everything looks great. Nice strong heartbeat. Would you like to know the sex? I already know. Zara watched the screen. Her daughter. Perfect and tiny. It's a girl. Congratulations. Do you have a name picked out? Not yet. But she was thinking Amara. It meant eternal. She wanted her daughter to be stronger than temporary things. Stronger than one-night mistakes and men who chose legacy over love. She was leaving the clinic when she saw him. Donovan, getting out of a black SUV across the street. He looked different. Tired. Thinner. But his eyes locked on hers immediately. On her belly. She watched his face go through every emotion. Shock. Realization. Something that looked like hope. He crossed the street like a man possessed. Zara. Donovan. You're. He couldn't seem to finish the sentence. Pregnant. Yeah. She adjusted her purse. Congratulations on your engagement, by the way. Is that mine? His voice was barely a whisper. Every instinct screamed to protect herself. To lie. To walk away. But she was tired. So tired of carrying this alone. No. She met his eyes. This baby is mine. That's not what I asked. It's the answer you're getting. She started walking toward her car. He followed. Zara, please. Just tell me. Is that my child? She whirled on him. 6 months of anger and hurt and loneliness erupted. You made your choice when you let your sister speak for you. When you got engaged to someone who fits. When you decided I wasn't worth fighting for. That's not fair. Fair. She laughed, and it was bitter. You want to talk about fair? I came to tell you I was pregnant, and your sister told me I wasn't good enough for the Cross family. That I wasn't light enough. That I was Detroit, and you needed Grosse Pointe. And you know what the worst part was? You proved her right. You are engaged. You are choosing legacy over me. So no, you don't get to ask about this baby. You don't get to ask anything. I didn't know you were pregnant when Simone. Would it have mattered? Her voice broke. Be honest. Would it have changed anything? His silence was answer enough. That's what I thought. She got in her car. Stay away from me, Donovan. I mean it. She drove away and didn't look back. In her rearview mirror, she saw him standing in the parking lot, looking like she'd just destroyed his world. Good. Now he knew how it felt. The next day, flowers arrived at her office. Ridiculous, expensive flowers. The card read, "Please let me explain. Van." She threw them away. More flowers came. And chocolates. And a basket of organic baby supplies. She donated everything. On the third day, he showed up at Velocity Motors. Security called her. "Miss Hayes, there's Mr. Donovan Cross here to see you. Tell him I'm busy. He says he'll wait." Then he'll be waiting a long time. He waited 6 hours. When she finally left at 9 p.m., he was sitting in the lobby. He stood when he saw her. "You can't keep doing this." She didn't stop walking. "Then talk to me. 5 minutes. I don't have anything to say to you." "Then listen." He stepped in front of her. "Please. Just listen." She stopped, crossed her arms over her belly. 5 minutes. "My father is dying." The words tumbled out. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctors give him 3 months. Maybe 6 if we're lucky. The engagement to Naomi, it's not what you think. It's a business merger. Our companies are failing. Separately, we're vulnerable. Together, we might survive long enough to honor what my father built. That's your excuse? Business. It's not an excuse. It's the reality of being Sterling Cross's son. His voice was raw. Everything I do is about legacy. About proving I'm worthy of his name. About not being the generation that destroys everything he sacrificed for. And where do I fit in that legacy? Zara's voice was quiet. Where does your daughter fit? My daughter. He said it like a prayer. Like he was tasting the words for the first time. I have a daughter. You have an engagement. To someone appropriate. I don't love Naomi. But you're going to marry her anyway. It wasn't a question. I don't know. He ran his hands through his hair. I don't know anything anymore. Except that I haven't stopped thinking about you since that night. Except that I dream about you arguing with me about engine designs. Except that seeing you pregnant with my child is the most beautiful and terrifying thing I've ever experienced. Zara's heart was breaking all over again. That's not enough, Van. Love isn't enough when you're choosing duty over me. Over her. Then tell me what is enough. Tell me what I need to do. I need you to choose us. Not because of duty or guilt or legacy, but because we matter more than any of that. She put her hand on her belly. Can you do that? He opened his mouth, closed it. The silence stretched between them. That's what I thought. She walked past him. Your 5 minutes are up. This is getting intense, right? Drop a comment below telling me if Van deserves a second chance or if Zara should raise this baby alone. And if you're not subscribed yet, What are you waiting for? Hit that button because this story is about to get even more complicated. 3 weeks later, Zara was presenting at the National Automotive Innovation Summit in Chicago. 7 months pregnant, wearing a maternity dress that actually made her feel beautiful. She stood on stage and explained how her electric chassis design could revolutionize urban transportation. The audience loved her. Standing ovation. 3 companies approached her afterward with offers. Donovan was in the back of the room. She saw him as soon as she stepped off stage. You came to Chicago? She was exhausted. Her feet were swollen. She didn't have energy for this. I came for you. He looked different. Determined. I broke off the engagement. Her heart stopped. What? I told Naomi the truth. That I'm in love with someone else. That I have a child on the way. That I can't marry her. He stepped closer. She was relieved, actually. Turns out she's been in love with her best friend for years. We were both trapped by what our families wanted. Van. I talked to my father. Really talked to him. Do you know what he said? Van's eyes were wet. He said he built this empire so his children could be free. Not so we could be prisoners of his name. He told me to go get my family. Zara couldn't breathe. But the company, the merger, we'll figure it out. Maybe we fail. Maybe we lose everything Sterling Cross built. But at least I'll fail knowing I chose love over fear. He took her hands. I choose you, Zara. I choose our daughter. I choose arguing about thermodynamics at midnight and the way you refuse to back down from anyone. I choose us. Your sister will never accept me. Then she doesn't get to be part of our lives. Not until she earns that privilege. His voice was firm. I'm done letting other people dictate my choices. I'm done letting anyone tell me you're not enough. You're everything. Zara wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to believe him so badly. This is real? You're really choosing us. I never should have made you question that in the first place. He pulled her close, careful of her belly. I was a coward. I was so afraid of disappointing everyone that I disappointed the only person who actually mattered. You. And her. He placed his hand on her stomach. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm asking you to let me spend the rest of my life proving I'm the man you both deserve. The baby kicked. Hard. Right under his palm. Van's face transformed. Pure joy. Pure wonder. What's that? That's her. Zara was crying now. That's your daughter saying hello. Hello, baby girl. Van's voice broke. I'm your daddy. And I'm so sorry I'm late. They stood in the hallway of the Chicago Convention Center, 2 people learning how to be a family, while their daughter kicked and rolled between them. I haven't forgiven you yet, Zara whispered. You hurt me. I know. I'll spend every day making it up to you. Your family will hate me. Then we'll build our own family. One that measures worth by character instead of color or class or any of that crap. He kissed her forehead. I love you, Zara Hayes. I should have said that 6 months ago. I'm saying it now. I love you. I love you too. The words felt like freedom. I never stopped. They went back to Detroit together. Van moved Zara into his penthouse that week. Simone showed up 3 days later, furious. You broke off the engagement? Are you insane? Do you know what this does to the company? I know what it does to my life. It saves it. Van stood between Simone and Zara. Apologized to Zara. For what? For telling her she wasn't good enough. For trying to bribe her away. For every racist, classist thing you said to the woman I love. Simone's face went pale. I was protecting you. You were protecting an image. There's a difference. Van's voice was steel. Apologize or leave. Van, she's a nobody from. Get out. He pointed to the door. You're not welcome here until you can treat Zara with respect. That's not negotiable. Simone looked between them. Then she left without another word. Zara took Van's hand. She's your sister. And you're my family. She'll come around, or she won't. But I won't let anyone disrespect you. Not anymore. Sterling Cross died on a Tuesday in March. Zara was 8 months pregnant. Van was holding his father's hand when he went. Take care of them, Sterling whispered. His last words. Your girls. The funeral was massive. Every major black business leader in America attended. Zara stood next to Van in a black maternity dress, holding his hand while he said goodbye to his father. Simone gave the eulogy. She talked about legacy and sacrifice and the weight of the Cross name. Her eyes found Zara in the front row. My father taught us that family is everything. That legacy is about more than money or name recognition. It's about the people we love and the choices we make to protect them. She paused. I forgot that lesson. I let fear make me cruel. I hurt someone my brother loves. Someone my father would have welcomed with open arms. After the service, Simone approached them. Her eyes were red from crying. I'm sorry. She looked at Zara. I'm so sorry. I thought I was protecting Van. I thought I was protecting the family name. But I was just scared. Scared that if Van chose differently than me, it would mean my own choices were wrong. My marriage is a prison. I've been miserable for years. And I wanted Van to be miserable too because at least then I wouldn't be alone in my mistake. That's not an excuse, Zara said quietly. I know, but it's the truth. Simone wiped her eyes. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I'm asking you to let me try to be better. Let me be the aunt your daughter deserves. Please. Zara looked at Van. He squeezed her hand. The choice was hers. One chance, Zara said. You get one chance to prove you've changed. That's more than I deserve. Thank you. 2 weeks later, Zara went into labor during a Cross automotive board meeting. She wasn't supposed to be there. Ben had specifically told her to rest. But there was a vote about the company's future, and she'd wanted to support him. Her water broke, right as some board member was arguing about quarterly projections. Ben went white. Is that? Your daughter has terrible timing. Zara gripped the table. We need to go? Now. The hospital was a blur. Contractions. Monitors. Ben holding her hand so tight she thought he might break something. The doctor's looking concerned. Words like preeclampsia and blood pressure and possible complications. I'm scared, Zara whispered between contractions. Me too. Van kissed her knuckles. But we're doing this together. You're the strongest person I know. You survived MIT. You survived my sister. You survived me being an idiot. You can survive this. What if something happens to me? Nothing's going to happen to you. I won't allow it. His voice was fierce. You hear me? You're going to be fine. You're both going to be fine. Labor lasted 14 hours. Somewhere around hour 12, when Zara was screaming that she couldn't do this anymore, Van climbed into the hospital bed with her. Yes, you can. You're Zara Hayes. You don't back down from anything. Not from me. Not from my sister. Not from this. He pressed his forehead to hers. I believe in you. Our daughter believes in you. You've got this. At 6:47 a.m., Amara Sterling Cross entered the world screaming. 6 pounds, 8 ounces. Perfect. The nurse placed her on Zara's chest. Van was crying. Zara was crying. Their daughter had Van's eyes and Zara's nose, and she was the most beautiful thing either of them had ever seen. Hi, baby girl, Zara whispered. We're your parents. We're a mess, but we love you so much. Amara, Van said softly. Amara Sterling Cross. It's perfect. Zara looked up at him. We made a person. We made a family. Simone arrived an hour later with flowers and tears. Can I meet my niece? Zara nodded. Simone approached the bed carefully, like she was afraid of breaking something. She's beautiful. Simone touched Amara's tiny hand. She looks like Van did when he was born. Same serious expression. She looked at Zara. You're going to be an amazing mother. And I'm going to try my best to be worthy of being her aunt. Just love her, Zara said. That's all she needs. 6 months later, they were back at the rooftop where it all started. Cross Automotive was hosting an innovation showcase. Zara's electric chassis design was the centerpiece. Velocity Motors had licensed the technology. The company was stable, thriving, even. Van held Amara while Zara gave her presentation. Their daughter was starting to babble. Her first word had been, Dada, and Van had cried for 20 minutes. After the presentation, they stood at the railing, looking out at Detroit. The city lights reflected off the river. Amara was asleep on Van's shoulder. Do you ever regret it? Zara asked, choosing us over the easy path. Not for 1 second. Van kissed her. Best decision I ever made. Even when Amara keeps us up all night? Especially then. He grinned. Besides, she got your stubbornness. I wouldn't change a thing. Zara leaned into him. Her little family. Hard-won and imperfect and absolutely everything she'd ever wanted. Hey, Van. Yeah. I love you. Even when you're being impossible. I love you too. Even when you're proving me wrong about engine designs. Amara stirred and made a small sound. Not quite a word, but almost. They both heard it. Mama. Zara's eyes filled with tears. Her daughter's second word. She looked at Van and saw her own joy reflected back. They'd started at this rooftop with broken glass and angry words and a connection neither of them expected. Now they stood here as a family. Broken people who'd learned how to heal together. A love story that refused to follow the script. Amara opened her eyes, looked up at her parents, smiled. And that smile was worth every painful moment it took to get here. Every tear, every fight, every choice that led them to this moment. Welcome to the family, baby girl, Van whispered. It's messy and complicated and absolutely perfect. Just like them. Before you go, I need you to do something for me. If this story touched your heart, if you were rooting for Zara and Van, if you ugly cried when Amara was born, then you need to hit that subscribe button right now. We've got more stories like this coming. Stories about love that refuses to give up, about families that choose each other. Drop a comment telling me what you thought. Did Simone deserve forgiveness? Would you have given Van a second chance? And smash that like button if you believe in second chances and love that fights through everything. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next story.